On Osrc News at 7, Nigerian National Petroleum Company denies fresh hike in price. Customs Comptroller General pledges partnership with Nigeria's biggest orphanage. Federal government files fresh charges against suspended CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele. And from the foreign scene, former US President Donald Trump charged in Georgia over election interference. Thanks for joining us on the news tonight on Osrc. My name is Sahid Aribisala. The Nigeria Petroleum Company Limited, NNPC Limited, says it has no plan to raise the pump price of petrol. In a terse statement, the company urged Nigerians to disregard speculations of a fresh hike in the price of the premium product. There seemed to be no respite for Nigerians after President Bola Tinubu announced the removal of petrol subsidy in his inaugural speech. Transportation costs have since galloped, and its attendant economic implications felt on food prices, with the organized labor protesting what it called anti-people policies of the Tinubu administration. The unprecedented increase in the price of petrol from 184 naira per litre to over 600 naira has occurred amid the unification of the foreign exchange by the Tinubu administration, as well as rising inflation rates. The organized labor has vowed to proceed with a total, comprehensive and indefinite nationwide shutdown of the country should there be another increase in petrol pump price from the existing 617 naira, which it describes as illegal. NLC President Joe Ajaero gave the notification at the African Trade Union Alliance meeting in Abuja, where organized labor leaders also warned against undermining the demands of the union. Oil marketers had indicated that the cost of petrol would rise to between 680 naira per litre and 720 naira per litre in the coming weeks should the dollar continue to trade from 910 to 950 naira at the parallel market. They also hinted that the dealers seeking to import petrol were being forced to put plans on hold due to the scarcity of foreign exchange to import the commodity. The organized labor had earlier suspended a proposed indefinite strike on Thursday, August 4th, following a meeting with the President, Bola Tinubu. And now to politics. Chairman of the All Progressives Congress, APC, in Ondo State, Adetimehin, says there was no division within the party in the state. Adetimehin, who gave the assurance, said the major opposition party, PDP, has gone into extinction in Ondo State. He said all stakeholders in the party were united under the leadership of Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu. According to him, the leadership style of Akeredolu over party affairs has ensured unity and cohesion of various stakeholders from all levels in the state. The Ondo APC chairman said opposition party members keep defecting to APC due to cohesion within its fold. Acting Comptroller General of Nigeria Customs Service, Adewale Adeniyi, has pledged to partner Dorian Homes for Charity and Social Development in its mission to nurture young minds with the potentials to contribute to Nigeria's development. The customs boss, who made the promise during his visit to Dorian Orphanage Home in Akure, the Ondo State capital, commended the founder for creating a safe and conducive place for neglected children to thrive. The report. Dorian Home for Charity and Social Development, situated in Ondo State, is referred to as Africa's biggest orphanage. Since its official takeoff in 2021, its mission to spread love and give hope to orphans and less privileged has continued to attract support. The latest is coming from the Nigeria Customs Service as its acting Controller General, Adewale Adeniyi, led other top officers on a special visit to the orphanage home. The Customs Controller, who was received by Dorian Home General Manager, Mr. Olaniyi Ogunleye, said the visit is to express the service readiness to partner the orphanage in meeting the objective of nurturing young minds.
We have found a very worthy partners in Dorian Homes. I've read about the orphanage. I've watched what you do both online and in the traditional media, and I've seen the passion and the commitment of the proprietors of this place, who is actually, the main driver of the place. And we felt that we cannot ask for a better partner in order for customs to reach effectively to the society in which we serve.
Mr. Adewale Adeniyi, who was conducted round the about 700-bed facility, interfaced with the children, urging them to stay focused.
I hope you are fine. You are okay. Okay.
The customs boss also made a stop at the Women and Youth Development Center of Dorian Home.
Our mandate, basically, is to walk around and generate revenue for the country. Now, we do not generate this revenue in a ghost city. We operate within the society, within communities, within border areas, within state commands and things like that. So when we do this, we also feel that we have a responsibility to the community that help us to assist us in making those kind of revenue generation. We've seen that this place has capacity for almost 1,000 kids. So they need to feed them, they need to clothe them, they need to provide them medicaments and things like that. So in any of these areas, periodically, we'll be looking at our stores and we would be sending off those kind of items that can assist them to achieve the objectives for which this kind of homes are set up.
Dorian Home General Manager, Mr. Ogunleye, who represented the founder, Dr. Tolulola Bayode, appreciated the Nigeria Customs for identifying with their passion to better society.
I want to see it as very encouraging that we're able to have recognition by the federal government, by the fact that we have a personality like the Controller General of Customs recognizing Dorian Home and visiting this place. It's highly encouraging.
The Charity and Social Development Home says its doors are open to partnering public and private organizations to drive change and extend love to the less privileged in society. Sahid Aribisala, OSRC News. You're watching OSRC News at 7. After this break, no fewer than 1,500 students sit for Ondo State College of Health Technology examination. Please join us.
Win an all-expense-paid trip to Disneyland in the Indomie Golden Magnet promo. To participate, just buy the Indomie 70-gram pack and look for the magnet inside. Log into www.indomie.ng/Golden Magnet promo to fill in your details and enter your unique magnet code. All the Golden Magnet winners will get to experience the wonders of Disneyland. Silver Magnet winners stand a chance to win amazing prizes. Every pack of Indomie you buy comes with your favorite indomitable magnet. Terms and conditions apply. Indomie, tasty nutrition, good for you.
Words are hard to find, but they're still heavy on my mind tonight. The pain is deep inside, but I still want to hide tonight.
Is this what you really want to do?
Yes, Dad. That's what I've been trying to show you.
Fight for your dreams the advanced way with Glow LTE Advanced. The power of 3 data networks in one. Get a Glow SIM or dial *301#.
Win an all-expense-paid trip to Disneyland in the Indomie Golden Magnet promo. To participate, just buy the Indomie 70-gram pack and look for the magnet inside. Log into www.indomie.ng/Golden Magnet promo to fill in your details and enter your unique magnet code. All the Golden Magnet winners will get to experience the wonders of Disneyland. Silver Magnet winners stand a chance to win amazing prizes. Every pack of Indomie you buy comes with your favorite Indomitable magnet. Terms and conditions apply. Indomie, tasty nutrition, good for you.
You're welcome back. It's still OSRC News at 7. You can watch us live on our website www.osrc.ng or follow us on Facebook at OSRC TV and on YouTube. You can subscribe to our channel OSRC TV Ondo. No fewer than 1,500 students have sat for the 2023-2024 computer-based entrance examination for admission into Ondo State College of Health Technology, Akure. The Deputy Provost, Mrs. Victoria Patamo, during the exercise appreciated the state government for providing an enabling environment for students to thrive, while stressing that the institution is devoted to grooming students for quality healthcare delivery. Joy Powers reports that the students were tested on 5 core subjects.
Ondo State College of Health Technology, Akure, received lots of applications every year, of which only a few that meet the criteria needed for the school are selected and given admission. Just as previous years, these students are here to partake in the 2023-2024 entrance exercise into a new academic session.
My expectation is that I've tried to study hard. I know with God's grace I'll be given an admission.
So I'm here this morning to take the entrance exam for the 2 departments. I'm well prepared and I'm ready to face anything.
So I've been preparing for it right from the day that I came here to register. So I think by God's grace, at the end of the day, I'll come out in flying color.
The examination was preceded by the screening of students in 5 core subjects: English language, mathematics, chemistry, physics, and biology. The Deputy Provost Academic of the institution, Mrs. Victoria Akpatamo, appreciated the Ondo State government for the enabling environment granted the students of the Citadel of Learning to excel, adding that at the end of the exercise, successful students will be offered admission to study the course of their choice.
There will be probation exam. The students will resume. After resumption, there is orientation for them. Then they will be in class for 3 months between September and December, where they will be taught, and there will be probation exam. That probation exam is within exam.
The technical director in charge, Mr. Gideon Omoria, commended the use of technology for examinations, noting that it makes the work easier and curb examination malpractices.
When we're talking about the computer-based test, it's always the best in option of the exam. Stress-free, cost-wise, it's even more preferable. When you start for the exam, you get your result. We have now created another printing section. Instantly, you get your result printout. That's what you have in your system. You go to the printing section, you print it out with some security features, so that somebody will not say, oh, this is not my result.
The school exam, which is internet exam, is going to be on CBT. And student who does not have the knowledge of CBT will find it difficult to cope, and thereby resulting to student failure.
The exam has been transparent and it's going well. I just want to urge the students, intending students, that they should come prepared, because most of them are not that computer literate and they're having issues with the use of computers.
Some of the students expressed satisfaction in the conduct of the examination.
I don't have any challenge when writing the exam, because the system was very, very okay. My own system, the one that I used, was okay. And you saw your result? Yes, immediately. I saw my results immediately.
Ondo State College of Health Technology offers courses in community health, medical laboratory technician, pharmacy technician, and dental surgery technician courses, as well as health information management, among others. Joy Pius, OSRC News.
The federal government has promised to provide health coverage for no fewer than 50 million Nigerians, especially the vulnerable and the elderly, by 2027. Special advisor to the President on Health, Salma Anas Ibrahim, made this known in Abuja at the National Health Agents Summit. According to Dr. Anas Ibrahim, no one will be left behind in achieving universal health coverage in the country. She noted that the aged are a critical component of the vulnerable group and will access quality healthcare services that cover all vulnerable groups, including women and children, and also the physically challenged. Also speaking, the Director General of National Senior Citizens Center, Dr. M.M. Omokaru, said there is a need to prioritize the senior citizens in the country, as there is the likely growing prevalence of non-communicable diseases among them. The federal government has applied to withdraw the charge of illegal possession of firearm filed against the suspended governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele. Director of Public Prosecutions at the Federal Ministry of Justice, Mohammed Abubakar, who approached the Federal High Court in Ikoyi with an oral application, said the withdrawal followed the results of further investigations. Abubakar, however, disclosed that said fresh charges with 20 counts had been filed against Emefiele at the Federal High Court, Abuja. On July 25th, Emefiele was arraigned on a 2-count charge bordering on illegal possession of firearms at the Federal High Court in Ikoyi, Lagos. Human rights lawyer Mike Ozekome has faulted the continued detention of the suspended chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, Abdulrasheed Bawa, by the Department of State Services, DSS, saying it amounts to a gross violation of his rights. He also slammed the continued holding of suspended Central Bank of Nigeria CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele after the Federal High Court granted him bail. The Senior Advocate of Nigeria said both were victims of executive lawlessness. He said DSS has not told Nigerians what Bawa's specific offenses are since his arrest on June 14th. Ozokeme also called for the release of Emefiele as the order of the court granting him bail has since been rendered futile by subsequent rearrest and detention. The Court of Appeal sitting in Benin City, the Edo State capital, has affirmed Julius Abure, the national chairman of Labour Party. A statement by the party's National Publicity Secretary, Obiora Ifo, said the 3-member panel of justices dismissed the appeal of the appellant. It will be recalled that the plaintiff, Lucky Shuaibu, said to be a member of the Labour Party in Eson North East local government area of Edo State, suspended Abure. In the lead judgment, Justice Theresa Abadua affirmed the decision of the High Court of Edo State and held that one man cannot suspend the national chairman of Labour Party, in line with the constitution of the party and particularly when the appellant has been described by the party as unknown. The court unanimously nullified the earlier suspension and all actions taken against Julius Abure and the party arising from the purported suspension. All Progressives Congress APC National Chairman Abdullahi Ganduje has tasked state governors and their deputies to maintain cordial relationship towards strengthening democracy in Nigeria. Ganduje, a former governor of Kano State, said this when he received members of former APC Deputy Governors Forum in Abuja. He said that being a deputy governor in Nigeria was most difficult because of psychopaths, who try to create confusion and a rift between governors and their deputies. He said that although deputy governors may be regarded as spare tires, they were always needed in times of trouble in the state. Ganduje assured that APC under his leadership would look at the possibility of organizing a national conference to discuss ways of smoothing relationships between governors and their deputies. Policymakers and the experts have urged Africa to adopt the tobacco harm reduction strategy to combat tobacco-related deaths and improve public health across the continent. Africa was called to emulate Sweden, who for the past 15 years has reduced its smoking rates from 15% in 2008 to 5.6% today. the lowest smoking rates in Europe with corresponding health impact. The call was made at a webinar hosted by the African Harm Reduction Alliance to discuss the urgency to implement the THR recently. They noted that Sweden now has a 41% lower incidence of cancer than other European countries and a 39% lower mortality rate than the European average from all tobacco-related diseases. According to the panelists, Nigeria needs to begin to consider implementing robust tobacco control policies that promote tobacco harm reduction and reduced risk alternatives for smokers who want to but cannot quit. The Church of Nigeria Anglican Communion has called on the federal government to resist pressure from Western powers to rescind its stand against same-sex marriage in the country. The Anglican Communion condemned in its entirety the current move by some gay rights activists and Western countries to legitimize same-sex marriage, hence unequivocally restated its unambiguous stand to keep upholding values that are in keeping with Orthodox biblical faith. In a communiqué from the 12th Conference of Chancellors, Registrars and Legal Officers of the Church held in Abuja, the Communion called on government at all levels not to turn back to God, but forsake all vices for true development and progress in the country. It urged Nigerians not to lose focus, but look unto God for miraculous intervention in the affairs of the country. The British Council, in collaboration with Universal Basic Education Commission, has trained selected teachers from the 36 states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory in English language proficiency. The Council's Director of Programs, Chikodi Onyemerela, unveiled the training tagged Strengthening Teachers' English Proficiency Capacity Building Training in Lagos. The 5-day program, which started on Monday, is part of the British Council's English portfolio to support teachers of English language and other subjects to improve their proficiency in the use of the English language. Speaking on the selection of participants, UBEC Director of Teacher Development, Olumayowa Aleshe, said the participants were from colleges of education or training institutions. A former Minister of External Affairs, Professor Bolaji Akeyemi, has dismissed claims that the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, is doing the bidding of France and other Western countries in its efforts to resolve the political instability in Niger. The West African Bloc is currently working to restore the political stability in Niger after the military toppled and detained President Mohamed Bazoum on July 26th. The regional body has imposed several sanctions on Niger and has threatened military action if the coup leaders fail to return power to Bazoum, with many accusing them of acting on France's directives. However, Akeyemi said it does not support French activities in Africa, but ECOWAS is only trying to stop the spread of coups in the sub-region and not protecting French interests. In its last extraordinary summit in Abuja last Thursday, ECOWAS ordered the deployment of its standby force to restore democracy in the West African nation. The United States Secretary of State Antony Blinken has applauded President Bola Tinubu's leadership of the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, to restore constitutional order in the Niger Republic. Blinken said he spoke to Tinubu about the joint effort to reinstate constitutional order in Niger and to commend his leadership of ECOWAS and discuss shared efforts to restore constitutional order in Niger. Niger's ousted president and his family have been held at the president's official residence since the coup, with international concern mounting over his conditions in detention. The military-appointed Prime Minister Ali Mohammed Zain, a civilian, has declared that Niger would thwart ECOWAS sanctions threat. The bloc has severed financial transactions and electricity supplies and closed borders with landlocked Niger, blocking much-needed imports to one of the world's poorest countries. Former U.S. President Donald Trump has been charged with attempting to overturn his 2020 election defeat in the state of Georgia. It is the fourth criminal case brought against him in 5 months. Mr. Trump, who is the leading Republican candidate for president in 2024, was indicted along with 18 other allies. He denies all 13 charges against him, which include racketeering and election meddling. 3 military services, the Navy, Army, and Marine Corps, are now all operating in the United States without a Senate-confirmed replacement in place as a Republican senator holds up the confirmations of senior military officers to protest the Pentagon's new abortion policy. Retiring Chief of Naval Operations Admiral Mike Gilday gave up command on Monday, leaving the Corps without a confirmed leader. Akintunde Akishemola has an update.
The U.S. military boasts the most powerful navy in history, but now without a leader after the retirement of the Chief of Naval Operations. That makes the Navy the third branch of the American Armed Forces without a Senate-confirmed commander. And that's because Republican Senator Tommy Tuberville continues to block hundreds of military nominations to protest the use of federal funds to cover travel costs for service members and their dependents to get an abortion. Now, at the entrance of the Pentagon, 3 black frames hang on the wall where the portraits of military leaders should be. Renowned journalist Idris Ali snapped the photos.
When you walk into the Pentagon, you would have seen what should have been 8 images of the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff and then the different service chiefs. But instead, there are 5 images and 3 empty spots are where the head of the Navy, the Army, and the Marine Corps should be. And it really sends a strong message. It's jarring to see when you walk in that the people, these military officers, these troops are supposed to be reporting to just don't exist. And so you're staring at this, wall, which is supposed to have a number of pictures essentially blacked out. And it really, I think, brings home the impact Senator Tuberville's holds are having.
U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin has said Tuberville's hold on promotions is undermining America's military readiness. The senator from Alabama argues there is no impact. Ali says the impact of blocking more than 300 U.S. military appointments could be felt in the years to come as soldiers and officers decide that waiting for a promotion is simply too difficult on them and their families.
That is having a big impact on morale because you can't really plan a career. You can't plan military and national security that way. So that's the biggest impact that we're seeing. The second impact that I think we're going to start seeing in the coming months and weeks is the impact on recruiting. It's a major shortcoming that the U.S. military has had in recent years. And so if you're someone thinking about joining the military or, potentially joining the military in a couple of years, you're going to look at the situation and say, why would I join an organization that can't even take care of its people?
While Tuberville's hold can prevent the Democratic majority Senate from voting on any promotion, Ali says it can drastically slow down the process.
The Senate can still vote on these nominees, but it requires them to go to a floor vote, which means that every single senator in the U.S. Congress has to have a recorded vote for the individual who is being nominated. So that can take several hours per person. So if you multiply that by 300 people, we're talking about hours and days to move forward these nominations. And it's important to remember a lot of senators, they have recess, they have a lot of breaks, they have other important business, so they just don't have the time to do this.
President Joe Biden has nominated Admiral Lisa Franchetti to lead the Navy, which will make her the first woman to command the service and to become a member of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. That historic first can only happen if and when the Senate confirms her. Until then, she's forced to lead the Navy in an acting capacity. Akintunde Akishemola for Osrc News.
Before we end the news tonight, let's take a look at some of the major stories. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company has denied a fresh hike in the price of petrol. The Acting Comptroller General of Nigeria Customs, Mr. Adewale Adeniyi, has pledged to partner Dorian Homes in its mission to nurture young minds with the potentials to contribute to national development. The federal government has filed fresh charges against suspended Central Bank of Nigeria Governor Godwin Emefiele. And from the foreign scene, former U.S. President Donald Trump has been charged in Georgia State over election interference. And that's the news tonight. Thanks for watching.